Welcome to Talking News, and this is an update for Najah Ferrell. A mother of 5 in Indiana has been missing for 2 weeks, and police are urging the public to please, if you have any information, to come forward. Somebody knows something. Now, Najah Ferrell, she is 30 years old, and she was last seen around 3 a.m. March 15th at her residence in Avon. She was expected to start her, it was her 3rd day of orientation at a new job in Indianapolis. But later that morning, she never showed up. But police and the family of Najah have come together, and they have pulled the community together to work as a family. And that's what a community should do when something devastating happens in your area. As you can see here is Officer Nugent and Paula, Najah's mother, hugging each other in support and confirmation that they care about this girl that went missing. This girl isn't just any girl. She's a girl that actually was involved in doing the better things within her community. She did things, she was a foster parent, and she had a very kind heart. And as I watched this press conference, it was heart-wrenching. The tears, the sorrow, and the cops felt so helpless, and you could tell that they really wanted to help this family out. I have to say that they taught many communities a lesson when it comes to caring about your community and what they're going through. I do have a clip from the conference I want to play.
All right, well, good afternoon. We appreciate everybody coming here this afternoon for an update regarding our missing persons case with Najah Ferrell. It's very important that we take an opportunity as an agency to understand the value of coming to the media, coming to the public, and helping this family in their time of need. There are a lot of different components to a missing person investigation, and we want to be sensitive to every one of those components as we provide information, not only to the public, but through the family as well. So I want to start off by kind of giving a summarization of what information we have, how this information actually came to the Avon Police Department. And after that time, we'll have Najah's mother, Paula, speak to you for a few moments. And then at that point, we'll talk a little bit more about where our investigation is now, where we're moving towards. And then we'll open up for opportunities for conversations and questions with the news media. So Najah was last seen on the early morning hours of March the 15th. The information that we received on this investigation was reported to us the following Monday. Our understanding was that the Indiana Department of Child Services had received notification that Najah had not picked up her children later in the day on Friday, the 15th. That initial report was provided to the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, who started the initial phase of this investigation. That agency then contacted Avon Police Department upon learning that Najah was actually last seen here in Avon at her residence. And so on Monday morning, our agency received that information and began moving forward with the investigative process here at the local level. From what we understand, that morning, Najah was expected to be at her job located at a Panera Bread off West 86th Street and I-465. Our understanding was that she was anticipated to be there that morning for what was the 3rd day of her new employment orientation at that location. Employees there at Panera also indicated that she never arrived at that time for her 3rd day of employment. So during this time, there have been a lot of questions and a lot of conversation about what has taken place with the investigation. We receive information from the public. We also have people that ask us questions, offering their assistance about conducting searches and working as a community to help find Najah and bring her back to her family. And so I kind of want to walk through just what our investigators have been doing now with this case since we've had that. Understanding that the investigative process does move slowly at times, understanding that there's a lot of complexities and hardships and communication. There are some delays that frustrate even ourselves and our investigators and trying to get more information to get this case resolved and to find Najah and bring her home. So as a department, our investigators have been working around the clock since this has taken place. To date, we've served and filed for over 30 search warrants. These search warrants are relevant to things such as electronic records. They can include legal permissions to enter vehicle, to enter the residence, and to do those searches. Beyond that, one of the searches that we actually conducted was a search of her residence here in Avon. We were assisted by the Indiana State Police crime scene investigators that helped us in the initial phases of conducting the search warrants on her residence in the effort to, again, gather information, provide evidence on our case. Obviously, something that happens in these cases, you're going to see investigators conducting interviews. Our detectives have conducted approximately 40 interviews with individuals that live either in the area where she was last seen, her actual residence, her neighbors, friends, some of the family you see behind me here today, and trying to understand the big picture, and that's our goal. Those interviews have been conducted morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Some of those have happened early on. Some of those have happened as recently as earlier this morning on today's date. Part of our investigation, as many of you have already reported, is that the vehicle that Najah was found in, that was missing along with her, was located in the area of 86th Street and Michigan Road. That vehicle was located by an officer with Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, and that vehicle was actually sealed, transported to the Avon Police Department, where our investigators have since conducted a thorough search of the vehicle, along with being assisted by crime scene investigators with the Hendricks County Sheriff's Department, assisted us in that component of the investigation. When we pay attention to knowing what we do know about Najah, and we pay attention to where she was last seen and where this vehicle was at, that opens up another opportunity for information for our investigators to explore. With that being said, we have made communication, search warrants, actually retrieved some video from about 12 different locations that we were hoping will provide information that will lead us in the right direction about how the vehicle arrived at where it was located at by IMPD, as well as finding out more information about her activities leading up to her disappearance. There has been some concern and question. I want to try to clarify that very quickly about the search process. We do have a lot of messages that come to us from the general public. Some of those messages have come through direct messaging through our Facebook or our Twitter and Instagram pages, as well as a couple of pieces of information that have come through Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana. And we want to just encourage the public to be patient and understand the investigative process. One thing that is to our advantage at this moment, as we stand here today, is that we have wooded areas that we can search with great efficiency. And we do so by employing the assistance of the Indiana State Police Aviation Team. The aviation team is very familiar with our investigators from cases that we've had in the past. If you've had an opportunity to see the location of her residence, you'll notice that there are some densely wooded lots to the east of that location, as well as the CSX rail yard immediately north of that facility in the general area where she was last seen. For us, it's important to be responsible about how we conduct those searches. Having a time in Indiana where the vegetation is not fully developed in our wooded lots allows our aviation teams to search a greater area with much efficiency to be able to see straight to the ground. The process being, if we were to put together a massive search group and search through these areas, those investigators would have a difficult time to differentiate what they're seeing as a byproduct of a search team versus information that might lead them to focus our investigation on any evidence that may have been found or discovered in that section. So as we stand here today, I can tell you that we have been able to get some search and rescue dogs involved with this investigation. Detectives are out right now with those dogs searching some of the locations that have been reported, both through the local media as well as through our social media, in an effort to guide us in our investigation in one direction or another. Late last week, I should say, we received information that some property belonging to Najah had actually been located on I-65 in the area of Lafayette Road. While I'm not going to go into the details of what those items were, I will explain to you that what had happened is there was a construction zone in that area, and another member of the Indiana State Police was located providing security for the construction team on the highway when a construction worker had brought to that trooper some of these items that they had found. That led that trooper to contact the Avon Police Department and notify us that they had that property. And as we speak today, those items have been transported to the Indiana State Police Crime Lab for further analysis and examination by their investigative forensics team. Lastly, the most recent update that we have had was the location of her vehicle. Again, this vehicle was located in the southeast corner of Michigan Road and West 86th Street. This vehicle was located approximately 2.5 miles east of where Najah was expected to be on the morning of her disappearance. Investigators have also been focusing their efforts into that particular area to try to find anybody that may have seen something, that may have seen her vehicle, that may have seen her talking to anybody, socializing with anybody in that area. And so some of our efforts are focused in that area right now at that location. It's very important to our agency that we have good and strong communication. We've talked at length with Najah's family about the value of good communication between the investigators and the media and the family. And so I appreciate everybody adopting a sense of understanding and patience with us, because I can assure you there's nobody more frustrated with not having answers than the family that's here in front of us today in our police department. With that being said, we do remain in constant communication with the family. Najah's mother, Paula, is here and would like to state a few words in support of what we're trying to do. And she can also, if you would, Paula, just kind of maybe give them some understanding of the photographs that we see here so they have an understanding of when those photographs were taken, if you would. Okay? Thank you, Paula.
These photographs were taken during Easter, maybe about maybe 3 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, I'm not sure. And this was in the backyard of my home there, and they had dressed alike, and Katie was being a little bit, wanted to be a picture hog. And then I said, let's take a picture with the boys, you know, here in my parlor with their Nana. And that's what they call me, their Nana. And so we took a picture, I think what may have been Najah's phone or my phone. I can't even remember. But it was such a wonderful picture. I said, I'm going to make that a family photo and put it up. I'm thanking God that He gives me the strength to go through this, because any mother would do anything when their child is born, anything, and I mean anything, for their children. And I think that Najah would do the same for me. So I gained the strength from God, my family, my spiritual family, to be here today to talk to you about that. Because I love my child, and I tried to teach her to love others the same way. And I think she was a giving young lady. And we were like best friends. And she would tell me sometimes and tease me and say, Mom, you're my best friend. Darn, my mother, my best friend. I said, that's okay. That's a good thing. But I want to thank the community for just being here for us. The Avon Police Department has just been phenomenal, what they do. And I talked with Detective Nugent, and he assured me that he will do this case as though it was his own family member, and that set me at peace with that. And I'm so thankful and grateful for that. But I just urge anybody, if you have any information, if you hear anything, please call that number for Crime Stoppers. Help us. We're in a concerted effort to find my child and bring her home. And I believe that. So we have to stand on that and believe it. And I'm just, my heart, I can't even tell you. I would want any other mother to ever have to deal with anything like this, any other family, really, because I miss her. And she should be here, and her boys, they have never been without their mother. And I know that. So I just want to say, join together and do whatever it is that you can to help us, because we're all one family. We're the human race. So I just thank you.
Okay. That was very heartbreaking to watch a mother in that much pain, but it was truly inspiring to see Detective Nugent here embrace her and give her support that a mother needs so desperately in this time. Now, as this press conference went on, he gave more details that we had not heard about, and he also urged the public, to really focus on what you've seen on the days of Najah's disappearance. And so I want to run that clip as well for you guys.
Please spend a little bit of time to listen to what we're asking you to do, because we're convinced, this family is convinced, this community is convinced also, somebody knows something. So we are pleading to the public that if you are that somebody who thinks they may know something, you do not have to have an absolute understanding of the information that you have. You don't have to be 100% accurate on what your thoughts or assumptions can be. That is the responsibility of law enforcement and our detectives, who again have been working around the clock to bring this information in and to help bring Najah home. So we ask you to please understand that while we have given you updates about property that's been located, while we provided updates that her vehicle has been located as well, we are still in desperate need of information to further this investigation. If you happen to have been in the area of Michigan and 86th Street and noticed her vehicle, it was a black Nissan Altima, a 2018 model, located on the southeast corner. When our partners at IMPD had located that vehicle, we need you to come forward and tell us what you saw. It may be small, it may appear to be insignificant, but I assure you that that is not insignificant to this family, to this agency, and to our community. And we ask for your help desperately. If you were in the area of Interstate 65 and Lafayette Road, and you had observed anything odd or suspicious in that area, observed anyone throwing items out of a vehicle, observed anyone walking in that area at the time that those items were located on Thursday of last week, to please contact us and let us know what you may have seen. Something as small as a general description allows our investigators to focus their efforts on the video files that they may have obtained from other locations, and can really guide our investigators to doing the right thing. Anybody that may have had communication with Najah, she may have made a statement that alarmed you. She may have made a comment that seemed innocent at the time, but as you sit here today and you see this family's hurt and you hear our words of need for this investigation, just understanding those words might have a different meaning today than when they did the last time you spoke with her. And we ask that you seriously take the time to evaluate the value of that and call us at Crime Stoppers. We're promoting all of our information to come through Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana. Their number is 317-262-TIPS. You can absolutely remain 100% anonymous through their system, and the entire time Crime Stoppers has been in this area of Indiana, they have never given up the identity of one single tipster. So we have complete and total faith in Crime Stoppers that whatever information you have, you do remain anonymous, and that can advance our investigation and support us in bringing Najah back home. And in the absence of information of telling us where Najah is located at, that we cannot have an opportunity to eliminate any possibilities. As we sit here today, it could very well be simply a medical emergency that happened, and we just need to find her. There may be other circumstances that we're not aware of, whether in her social life or private life, and that information becomes very important to our investigators. So as we move forward, I just caution everybody from locking into a particular theory and understanding that we want all information that could lead us to any conclusion and resolution to bringing Najah home. And so for that, we ask for your patience and understanding.
We did find out a little bit more information in how they found that bag of items of hers on a construction site. And so there's got to be more out there people might know. We didn't hear whether or not they might have had security cameras on that construction site, as a lot of construction sites do. Now, I don't usually do videos on Sunday. I try not to, but I wanted to get this one done so I can go and get my family dinner prepared. I want to say I am sending my blessings out to the family. We all are, I'm sure. And hopefully somebody will see this video and maybe have a tip that they can offer to where they're asking you to send those tips is Crime Stoppers. And also there is now a reward of $2,500 being offered. So please guys, if you know anything, share it. And I want to wish you guys an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.